Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Ordinary Guys Bourbon. Today on the program, a very special guest, a person who's anything but ordinary. Chris Corne, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back.
Well, you know, it's a little bit of a different studio setup right now.
Yes.
You know, we're on the road, right? And normally we try to find a nice meeting space. And this is about as, I don't know how to describe this.
This is redneck engineered right here.
We are compressed inside of a hotel area.
Yep.
Right? We've done our best to try to make it look presentable, right? Who knows how this will come across? But we've got backlighting.
That's right. And hey, one day you'll have a production manager. You'll have everything all set up for you. You'll come and you get your makeup on and you'll start. But today we're going to talk about this.
Well, and real quick before you do that, in the new studio that we're constructing right now, it's under construction as we speak.
Excellent.
We do have rails and power set up overhead to be able to mount cameras and lighting.
All right.
Just for improvements to the production factor.
Got it.
I don't know if we'll use that, but
Excited for that.
So
say the christening.
Well, it's going to be exciting.
All right.
It's going to be exciting. You might be one of the first guests.
I'll be there. I'll hit the play button or whatever you call it.
The record button?
Yeah, same thing.
Today on the program, a very special drink. This one I know is very close to your heart.
That's right. I think I've mentioned it.
This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is your daily drinker, is it not?
Absolutely. Yep.
And Ordinary Guys, if you think about it, what we're trying to do, and we've veered off course sometimes, but what we're trying to do is, what is the bourbon, the ordinary bourbon drinker, like? How can they expand their palate? How can they understand a little bit more of what they might like, different things they might want to try, right? Without getting into a very bougie type analysis.
Yeah, I can understand the fear. It's like you got a price point, you know what you like, and you don't venture far from it because, you know, wow, that's expensive, you know. And hey, a bottle of bourbon might be pretty tough sometimes,
That's
right?
That's right.
So, here to help with this, where it's priced and what we think about it, maybe help you out.
Well, where it's priced is very reasonable, right? So this bottle we picked up for $19.99.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that normally, like, you can get the full handle for about what?
Depends on where you are. When we had
Right,
that
sure,
talk
of
about
course,
state,
of course.
but I think the same store had it about 35.
So 35, that's a 1.75,
Yes.
right? So it's 2 and change fifths,
Right.
right? So Evan Williams Bottled and Bond, also known as Evan Williams White Label.
White label, yeah.
Right? You call it the green label, though.
I always say it's the one with the green letters on the white. And it looks green to me.
So to find Evan Williams Bourbon Bottled and Bond on the Heaven Hill website, because this is manufactured by Heaven Hill, you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the product page. There's 28 different offerings from the distillery, and then there it is. It's right next to Mellow Corn.
Yeah. And I said I like that too.
But this offering, and I use Mellow Corn whenever I'm smoking like pork butt. That's what is part of my mix to spritz the meat, just so you know.
Yeah. When I first made a product,
A pork butt or a ethanol fuel?
an expression of corn.
Yeah.
Okay. And I wanted to know, hey, how did just before it was aged, before it hit any type of oak aging, what did mine taste like versus others? And Mellow Corn was something I bought. I bought Buffalo Trace's
White Lightning?
white product, you know, that they sell in little bottles at some retailers. I think I bought
Those can
something from
those
Dickel.
go straight in the garbage, by the way.
No, but
White Label, or White Lightning, you like that?
I still have some.
Unaged?
Yeah. I wanted to see how my product, you know, what I was making.
Your fuel?
Did I make, you know, poison? You know,
Yeah. Did you go blind?
No.
Okay,
No,
that's good.
I did not. There's other activities in my life that probably lead to that, but not that. Not.
I don't know what those could possibly be. But this offering, commonly referred to as White Label, right, has won double gold at the 2024 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. It's won gold at the 2024 Ascot Awards. We've talked about Ascot Awards several times on this show. Double gold at the TAG Global Spirits Award in 2024. and gold at the SIP Awards in 2023. And although it seems that every bourbon has won awards, let's dig a little deeper, as we do. Not much deeper, just a little bit.
Okay.
Evan Williams White Label was introduced nationwide in 2012, so recently. Prior to then, it was primarily sold as a Kentucky-only exclusive. It's known for its budget-friendly price point and 100-proof strength. It has a mash bill of 78% corn, that's high corn,
Yeah.
10% rye, 12% malted barley. Very similar to Jim Beam. More on that later. It's aged a minimum of 4 years, of course. Pretty straightforward. Evan Williams was a Welsh native who came to Kentucky around 1780 and began distilling in 1783. He was not only a distiller, but he was a councilman and was appointed as the first wharf master of Louisville in 1797.
It's Louisville.
Louisville. He was considered Kentucky's first distiller. It says so right on the bottle. He continued to distill commercial whiskey until his death in 1810, and then the distillery kind of faded into obscurity. In 1957, the brand was relaunched by Heaven Hill Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky, and we've talked about Heaven Hill before, right? It's currently the largest independent, family-owned distilled spirits company in the U.S., and that's a little misleading, right? The largest single largest on a single campus.
Okay.
Right. Sazerac is a family-owned distillery, right, or producer of fine spirits, significantly larger.
Okay.
They're based out of Louisiana, though.
Yeah.
Right. The bottle proclaims since 1783, although very clearly, this is not a continuous production of the brand. The first product of the relaunch was an 86 proof Evan Williams Kentucky Straight Bourbon, often referred to as the Black Label, released under Heaven Hill Master Distiller Earl Beam. That's Jim Beam's nephew. The gap from the release of the Black Label to the last known distilling of Evan Williams was 147 years.
Okay.
Right? Heaven Hill, of course, was founded in 1935 following the repeal of prohibition by several investors, including Joseph L. Beam, also known as Papa Beam, and who was the first cousin of Jim Beam.
Okay.
He was a member of the Shapiro family. Over the years, the five brothers of the Shapiro family bought out the other investors and continue to run the distillery today. To close out the Jim Beam connection, the first 5 master distillers at Heaven Hill were descendants of the Beam family. There was Papa Beam, Harry Beam, Earl Beam, Parker Beam, that's Earl Beam's son,
Okay.
and Craig Beam, that's Parker's son. All right. Of course, one of the most infamous events in the bourbon industry occurred on November 7th, 1986, when Heaven Hill's production plant was almost completely destroyed by fire. The fire started in an aging warehouse and spread to other buildings and vehicles. 90,000 barrels of flammable bourbon was lost, and there were rivers of fire flowing from the warehouses. Whiskey barrels were said to be exploding and shooting across the sky like shooting stars. The company was able to survive over the next several years with the help of local bourbon labels, Brown-Forman and Jim Beam. How about that? Heaven Hill purchased the Bernheim distillery in Louisville.
You're missing the couple of U's that are in there.
Louisville, registered as DSP KY number 1 from Diageo in 1999. Okay. And that's something that I've said this before. It's fascinating because the bourbon community is really unique. When Heaven Hill had their catastrophe, for competitors to step in and loan out capacity to rebuild the inventory, that would be, and I know it's more complex than this, but that would be like a GM plant having a catastrophe and Ford saying, hey, go ahead and build your Pontiac Sunfire here, right? It would never happen. That would never happen.
Right.
But there's a brotherhood, and the families are connected, and I get that, but I mean, that to me is amazing, right? But there we have it.
Yeah.
Evan Williams Bottled & Bond White Label Bourbon, a straightforward offering at a very approachable price point, and a good sprinkling of history and connection to bourbon royalty, I think.
Yes.
In season 3, we've tried to do a special drink.
Okay.
Right? And some episodes we've foregone that. This episode we're not going to. Because when I was on the Evan Williams website,
okay,
the Heaven Hill website, I came across this recipe. This is directly. This is not the Ordinary Guys Bourbon recipe. This is directly from Evan Williams Bourbon and Branch, they call it.
Okay.
It's a cocktail directly from the website, and I love it. The cocktail we have, well, you have Coke in yours, so you've already
I've
modified,
yeah.
you've bastardized yours. But either way, it's a glass of Evan Williams Bottled and Bond.
Okay.
Add some water. Serve over ice.
There you
That's
go.
it.
They are your spirit animal.
That is a cocktail right
Yeah.
there, right?
All right.
So there we have it. There's the history as I wrote it. You know, here's our neat sample.
All right, let's go.
Cheers, Jim.
Cheers.
And then the cocktail. Okay, I've had all I need. I might need the notes to refer to. So first category, Chris, heritage, maximum 15.
All right, yeah. So this Evan Williams, obviously way back, but then there was quite a bit of time between the
147
name.
years.
Yeah. So
147 years.
but still, 1935, I think you said. That's getting that's high. That's much higher than most of what you're seeing on the shelf today.
1957 is when it was
But
reintroduced.
the family bought the distillery, and anyway,
Yep.
let's go. I'm a solid 12 here.
I like that number. That's my favorite number. I'm gonna go with that as well.
Okay.
Taste and drinkability, maximum 40. Of course, I think this has strong marks from you.
Yeah, because it's in the profile, whatever we're going to call it, that I like. You know, there's a sweetness on it. It's not heavily wooded, but more so than some other things that you can get. Like we've talked before, personally, about Old Granddad Bottled and Bond.
We have not reviewed that yet.
We haven't read it, but we've talked about it in the
Maybe a
past.
season 4
Yeah,
episode.
and so that one is a bit oakier. So this one's more in my profile, what I like. So it's going to score high.
I'm surprised. Like, I really like sweet bourbons,
Me too. That's what I would call it.
but there are bourbons that are sweeter than this.
There are.
So,
Yep.
like if you're just starting off, like this might be a little bit of a harsh taste for you. And don't get me wrong, I like it. I'm not trying to lead this discussion one way or another, but I think there are bourbons that have a sweeter profile, which
There
is
are.
surprising with the 78% corn.
Yeah.
I'm still going to score it pretty highly. I think this is a 30. No, it's 28 for me.
Yeah, I was right there at 30.
And you are a harder grader than I am.
Yeah.
The next one we have is affordability, maximum 20. I mean, what are you going to do with this?
I'm putting a 20 down. How do you get more affordable than $19.99 for a bottle of Bond 100 proof
I think
product, right?
You know, and when you talk about sweetness and you talk about someone that's just getting the bourbon drink, right? You're going to lose some of that sweetness with the 100 proof, right? It's a stronger.
Yeah, especially if it's a little bit young, you're going to get that blast. But what I like about this one, it's got a little bit of versatility. It's not as sweet as Eagle Rare, to me. Okay.
Oh, it's not. It's not.
But it has a bit of. There's an oak there, not as much as in this price point. Old Granddad Bottle and Bond. So you still have some versatility if you wanted to drink it like I do, okay, like this, or in some type of cocktail, or it's a fantastic neat or with water or ice choice as well. So it's very versatile.
When they bought the distillery, the DSP KY #1 from Diageo, how much do you think of the premium was just for that, the first distillery of Kentucky?
So when it was done, maybe not like someone was projecting, but now when there's like, hey, you know, one of the things about Kentucky Owl is how low their number is, and you know, we've been
Or
around
Kentucky
forever.
10, we saw that at the liquor store the other day, right?
Okay, yeah, it's like that number becomes a status
It really does.
thing.
It
So
really does.
when the brown spirits weren't a rage, that might not have meant much. But now, quite valuable.
Good investment. Good investment. That was 1999 they bought it?
Yeah, and brown spirits were not the rage.
Right after the big fire.
Yeah.
Availability. Now here's the thing. We went shopping a couple times in Florida.
Yep.
And then a couple times in Texas, right? And interestingly, it was available everywhere.
Yes.
No, I take that back. The first liquor store we went to, this was not there.
The one that was the Publix.
No, before that.
Before. Okay.
Right? They had none of the things we were looking for, right?
That's right.
Publix had it as a handle only,
Right.
right? Liquorland, which was a wonderful liquor store in right in Dallas, Texas. Liquorland. I'll put a link to Liquorland down there. I know how to do that. They certainly had it, right? Availability, pretty widely available.
Yeah, I haven't had trouble finding it. Maybe in the size bottle, because a lot of stores only have this size.
Yeah.
They don't move many handles.
Yeah.
But being able to find the product, it's as available as white label.
Let me ask you this:
Jack Daniels.
If you were able to, and you'll have to tell me what the discount would have to be for this to happen. But if you were able to buy this in a 375 gallon tote, would you?
No, logistics for that for me would just suck.
But you'd probably over the course of your lifetime go through 375 gallons of this, right?
Yeah.
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 I mean, I wouldn't, but you.
My diet ass.
I'm a rookie.
Yeah.
But you know, like you think about it, like if you were able to get it at $9 a gallon, would you find a way? Like an IBC tote?
That'd be pretty cool. I think I would design the man cave or whatever, around it.
There's always room in the rafters of the garage.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, availability. Maximum score is 15.
Yeah.
New category in this season.
So I'll say we went on vacation two summers ago, and of course don't want to fly across the pond with a bottle. And before we got to the hotel, we tried to find bourbon.
Wait, hold on. How many years ago?
2.
Okay. I was just thinking, across the pond. Did you go to China?
Went to Italy.
Were you?
The other pond.
Did you
smaller one.
bring COVID?
No.
Okay.
No. But anyway, the liquor store there. Of course, you can get wine, any wine you want, whatever. But the only bourbons they had was Jim Beam, and then they had Jack Daniels. And they were so...
Oh, careful.
Yeah, I understand. So they had Jim Beam bourbon, they had Jack Daniels, and they were locked up behind glass and a lock and key, so people wouldn't steal it. And there were bottles of wine that cost more than that.
Would people steal Jim Beam?
I guess, but it was the only brown spirits from America that were available.
Okay.
So this wasn't available there.
Okay.
Only time it's never been unavailable to me.
I've never tried to influence someone's scoring before, right? But I think availability in rural Italy is not part of the consideration for this show.
Well, you got to get out some, son.
I don't get out at all, ever.
Okay.
Right?
I didn't affect my score.
No. So what did you score? Maximum 15.
I did.
So I knocked it down 1.
Because my Italy story?
I could have. Maybe I'll knock it down another one, but I wrote in ink. So
okay.
No, I knocked it down because there are places where I haven't seen this in a fifth, and you know, unless if you're just trying something out, are you going to buy a handle of it? No.
No.
You know, so like for our audience, ordinary guys, right? They might not want to invest in a handle of something they're not sure they like, right? Some people don't like Jack Daniels. Some people don't like Jim Beam. Some people won't like this, right? I think it's pretty neutral.
Okay.
Design, maximum 10.
So, doesn't really stand out here. Very classic design. It has room for the hand to pour From the neck, it's got some attributes that I look at on the fluting on the bottom, but the label is not anything to show off, but I do like the little bit of gold letter. So it gets a little above the mid on this, so I'm at a 6.
You know, and I was a little bit higher than that. I was at a 7 until I saw Evan Williams' signature. And I don't know what that is. Is that a cloud he drew that at the end? What is that?
I don't know.
Like, it's not on the embossing of the bottle, but like, what is that?
What's the second one there?
Evan Williams. Evan Williams.
4
Evan
times.
Williams.
Okay.
Evan Williams. Right? If you think about what does a bottle of bourbon look like, this is what a bottle of bourbon looks like. Right? I like the white and green. I like the differentiation between the 86 variety. I think like the story on the side is a little misleading, right? Oh, 1783, right? Listen, you stopped in 1810. Like, stop it, right? Even on the front, since 1783. No, and you know what? When you talk about the history, and this is true, this is not an Evan Williams criticism. When you talk about the history of any of these bourbons, right? The mash bill changed. The process of how they distilled it changed, right? How they bottled it, how they put it in barrels changed, right? Like these stories that go back in history, they may have been distilling something. Jim Beam may have distilled something, but it wasn't the same product that you see now, right? That refinement, that standardization, I think only happened recently, in the last 100 years, right? Nevertheless, that goes into the heritage. Different story.
Yep.
I'm going to give this a 7.
Okay.
So where are you at overall?
73.
I'm at an 81. Who'd have
Knocked
thought
it out.
that? Who'd have thought that?
No kidding.
Right? Because this is your everyday.
I just a couple episodes ago, maybe, you reviewed a $129 bottle.
Yep.
I don't
You better
think
check your math, and I'm going to check mine.
it is 100 proof, so this could be the 100 proof impact.
Yeah, well, it could be. I'm at 81.
Sorry, I'm an 83.
You see that? So 83, I'm at 81. Average is an 82. That's a high score. Until next time, from Ordinary Guys Bourbon.
So
Cheers.
cheers.